postman's here. Yes, I've been waiting for this package for almost a week now. Postman Pat, what have you got today for me, postman? What's this? Ooh. Hey, what's happening, everyone? Today we're going to be fixing the MR2 because it's been sitting in the garage for a week now and I haven't been able to drive it because the handbrake cable snapped. And yes, I could put it on the road, and yes, I could put it in gear and not need to worry about it, but I just have that in the back of my mind that it might pop out of gear and then start rolling. So I didn't even bother to take it off the jack stands and take it for a drive until I got the new handbrake. So I'm going to be fixing that, and in the background Lachlan is going to be working on the 1MZ FE that's going into his yellow MR2. The Banky, it'll be like a metamorphosis.
Looks like a butterfly.
It's going to be like a butterfly. It's going to look like this, alright? And then eventually it'll look like this. With a V6, with a better V6 apparently. So this is Lachlan's 1MZ FE. It's out of a 1998 Toyota Camry probably. It's done 260,000 kilometers. We're trying to put it back together in its current state. We're not upgrading any parts, just gaskets, just to get it working and running in Lachlan's car. He's currently working on
the rear main seal. I think it's called an oil separator seal.
So we'll be assembling most of that 1MZ FE in today's video. But like I said before that, we're gonna fix my MR2. Let's go. Let's have a look at this handbrake cable. I thought it was the wrong thing for a second. So thank you guys at Corolla Spares for sending this out. Wait a second, that doesn't look right. Oh no, it's right, I'm just freaking out. I'm just stupid, I'm looking at the wrong way. Whew. So this is actually a really good condition handbrake cable. I got it from Corolla Spares and it's literally the same thing, except not broken. So let's install it. We have a working handbrake cable. Finally. Yes. What's going on here? I made a little mistake trying to get this handbrake cable on, so what I try to do is get the bit where it connects to the caliper on first, then work my way up, but it seems as if that I was supposed to do it the other way, so I should have started from where the handbrake lever is, and then worked my way back. It was really hard to get in. That took about half an hour. It should have taken like 10 minutes. It's just because I just did it wrong and try to continue right through. We're now going to put all the under panels back on, and we're going to start helping Lachlan with assembling the rest of this 1MZ FE. So Lachlan's finally put this sub bit on. I don't even know what you call this. You know what you call this?
Should we look it up in the manual?
It's called an oil pan. So the oil pan, that's what it's called. I don't know why I didn't even think of that. But yeah, we've just put the oil pan back on. It's all sealed up. It's got the gasket maker all in there. And we've got the oil pickup all put on, nice and sturdy. It's only 3 10mm bolts. And if you miss one, you're fucked and you got to start all over again, because if you drop it down there, then you're kind of cooked.
Pistons go kaboom boom.
So what we're doing now is we're trying to clean this surface as good as possible so we can get the oil pan back on. That's what it's...
Well, this is called the oil pan.
That's the oil pan.
We'll look it up in the manual. Number 2 oil pan.
Number 2 oil pan.
Nice.
So they're both called oil pans. Nice. We've got the oil pan right here, number 2 oil pan, just chilling over here. Lachlan's cleaning off all the gasket maker. We're going to rinse this whole thing out with brake cleaner and degreaser. And after we've done that, we'll just need to put on some of the accessories when Lachlan eventually finds them. We need to get the alternator, starter, all that kind of stuff. The starter only goes onto the transmission. Yeah. Okay, so little update. I've got the car off the jack stand, sorry. And with Lachlan's engine, we've actually got the whole thing all put together. So you can see now the bottom portion of the engine is now on. You can see that the oil pan number 2 is on, oil pan number 1 is on, and Lachlan is just cleaning up where the big coolant lines go. So there's actually like a plate that goes on top of this, and there's like the 2 lines that run off it, and you can actually see down in there the water pump if I spin it. I don't know if the camera will pick that up, but yeah, so Lachlan's just fixing that up. Anyway, I'm gonna try to start my car. Hasn't been started in about a week. So let's just see if my alarm has drained my battery again. What do you reckon, fam?
That should be fine.
Let's see what happens. Okay. Ooh. Woo! Started up perfectly, baby. Look at that. Smells good. I mean, it doesn't, but it's working, so that's why it smells good. So it's now the next day of this whole entire engine swap sort of build thingo, whatever you want to call it. And Lachlan and I, last night, we ended up completing most of the install on the bottom side of the engine. As you can see, like I said, bottom oil pan number 2, oil pan number 1. Today we need to clean up all of this stuff. We need to clean up all around here. So I was also recommended to use WD-40 to clean the heads. I don't know who recommended this. Thank you to whoever did this, but I'm going to use WD-40 all around here and just use the Scotch-Brite pad. Should be pretty easy. Look at this. This is a million times better than what it was. You can see that this is looking way cleaner. Most of the gasket material is off. Max is just wiping this down. We're trying to get rid of any of the deposits of these, what do you call it, Scotch-Brite pads off the cylinder wall. So there's just a little bit of stuff. It's very minimal, but this is looking really clean. We're gonna do the heads now and then chuck the head gasket on and get pretty much the heads on. This is the head that we haven't cleaned. You can see that there is gasket material everywhere. It's really bad. And this is the head that we have cleaned. You can see super shiny. Most of the carbon is off and we need to get this one to that stage. So we're got the air compressor here. We're gonna spray it all and try to get everything off. Okay, so this is looking a million times better. Have a look at that. Marcus, Max and me spent the past, 20 minutes or so trying to get as much of the stuff off, all the old gasket material, and it's looking really good now. The last thing I'll do is go over with a razor one more time, probably spray it with degreaser, then spray it with the air compressor. Once we finish with that, we can put the head gaskets on, then get the heads back on. Lachlan is finally here. We're now working on, we're now putting the top end back together. So we've cleaned all of this. This is where the water plate thing goes on. This is like the main water gallery for the engine, I'm guessing. So pretty much coolant just sits in this top little portion here. And we've cleaned this up, getting ready to put RTV silicone all around here. And then we'll chuck the heads on. Lachlan's just going over again with a semi-clean microfiber, making sure that there's no oil remnants of anything that shouldn't be on there. So any degreaser that's left there, any WD-40. Also got the boys over here cleaning up the heads, looking really good. We're gonna probably go over this with the air compressor one more time before we actually put it on the engine. We need to clean these as well. We need to clean all the buckets. I'm gonna spray them over with the degreaser and just let them soak for a bit. We're now placing a bead of silicone around this water inlet gallery. What do you call it? What's the word in the manual? Inlet hose. So he's just following the line around here, placing a bead of silicone, and that goes right in the engine. Nice. Bolts on. Hurt your hands.
Hands are so unbelievably cramped up right now.
A big booth. We have our brand new OEM Toyota genuine gaskets from Toyota themselves. Now, I'm pretty sure that they'll only go on one way. Oh. Do we have to spray this down with anything? Like copper grease? Oh, see, yeah, it doesn't go this way. Oh, no, it's not. See, no, it's not, because this doesn't line up. Yep, this is because all the holes line up. Yep. They didn't line up on this side. Now that we have this water inlet pipe on, we need to do the head gaskets, which we've got on here now. But now we also need to do, but we also forgot about the knock sensors. And there's 2 of them. We're just going to install them and torque them down to spec, because apparently they're very sensitive and they could ping off if anything's a little bit off. So we're going to have to be very careful in torquing them. Here are the knock sensors. They're extremely sensitive. They have like a crystal inside them that pings off when the engine is knocking or whatever. So we're going to be very careful with these. What I did when my engine was throwing some codes, all I did was go to the wreckers, grab some knock sensors out of another engine, and it was all good to go. If you're ever doing this yourself, it requires a 27mm socket. So out the torque wrench comes, and I don't know why, but I got some comments on the other videos saying, you should use a torque wrench. You know, you're assembling an engine. And
we got one right here.
We do have one right here. It's 29 foot-pounds. We also are using all the engine manual specifications, as you can see. I don't know if that's ever going to focus, but you do one, I'll do one.
I've never seen this kind of gasket before.
Yeah, see, it's like a fibrous gasket. It's not a multi-layer steel gasket.
Is this ancient?
It is. It's from the past.
This is before my time.
We're about to install a engine head for the very first time. One of two, because this is a V6. I'm super excited. So is all of us, I think. Yeah.
Yep.
Isn't
Yeah,
that
Lachlan, you're doing it the wrong way. What are you doing, bro?
Done. What? Oh. Thanks. Why you got your hand? You asked him for some bread, sir. Sir, can I have some bread?
Please, sir. Can I have some more?
Should we just... Is this as clean?
On this.
What about that other one? You don't do that one at all? The other bolt? Should. This one looks...
I'm getting one.
We're now turning all the bolts another 90 degrees. Just the same as the, what were the bolts? The bearing cap bolts? The bearing cap bolts. So Lachlan has drawn a white line on every single one of these bolts, and we're just gonna turn it until it goes and points either towards the front or the back of the engine, and that's 90 degrees. Yeah. So, quick little update before we end today's video. We have finally got the heads back on, the water inlet pipe thingo back on, everything's all assembled, looking really good. We even have put all the valve bucket thingos, what do you call them, Lachlan? Yeah, valve buckets, I'm pretty sure that's what they're called. Everything's looking really good, so much better than when we first got this engine. It's looking 10 times better because when we first got this thing, it was covered it was just covered in grease and dirt. It was so bad that Lachlan thought that this was black. He thought it was just painted black, but nah, it's an aluminium block, and you can finally see that because we've cleaned it so well. As you can see, the heads are on. You can see we've also put a rear main seal in, the rear main seal plate. Everything is looking really nice. I've even put the bolt back in, which goes on the head for this water inlet pipe. So hopefully in the coming weeks or so, we're going to be able to put the cams back in, then we're going to put the rocker covers back on. We can't do that until we get the gaskets because they have their own gasket. It's not just made of silicone. We'll probably also replace all the half moon gaskets, as you can see here. This is something that I forgot to do when I put my engine together. But this thing should not leak anymore. It is completely sealed up. Lachlan did a really good job at that. 3.
Except for the valve.
So the valve stem seals have actually failed on this engine, and we're not going to replace them. And you probably think that we're a little bit crazy, and we are. But like I said, the main aim is to get this engine in the car running, because it will run even though that they're leaking. And then eventually down the line, fix up some heads on another engine or put another engine back in the car, because Lachlan and I are very capable of taking an engine in and out of a car within a couple hours. It's pretty simple for us, especially MR2s. Mighty Car Mods said that these cars are very hard to work on, and yes, they are difficult. They're actually quite easy once you get to know them. It's easier to take an engine out of an MR2 than it is to take an engine out of a Camry. Ain't that right?
Yeah, but you got to get rid of all the rusted bolts and all the things that snap as soon as you put it.
He's talking about his MR2, by the way, so.
Like the headers.
Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. See you in the next one.